What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. All right, so we're back here with the Lexus. We pretty much haven't left here. We did the first video on this with the introduction of the Lexus to the channel and the lights that we did, the LED lights too. And now this is the second video. Now, in the first video I told you we did tires on it. They were the Falcon Wild Peak AT3s. These are on the car. And we went a little bit bigger size. We did a 275/65/18 than the original size. And of course, you got newer brakes because you needed brakes. And I did start spraying the frame previously. I started coating the frame from what it normally is. It's basically kind of grayed out. The color of the frame is gray, silver, whatever you call it. I did start spraying here, but now we have the car jacked up. We're gonna properly coat this car underneath it. We got the spare tire sitting over there, which needs to be replaced as well with the size that we used over here. But so at this point, we have to start spraying underneath. We're going to start from the back and spray forward, get it all nicely coated. Now what we're going to be using for coating is going to be this rust preventative, basic long lasting coating. This is supposed to be military grade stuff. From what I've read so far, now I've used the fluid film on the 4Runner that I used to have. I sprayed it with fluid film when after they did the, I have that video when they did the restoration of the frame, and spray the whole entire frame with fluid, the whole frame with fluid film, which did pretty good. But this is more of a wax coating. Like, again, this has been sprayed already, and it's a wax coating that goes over this. You don't have to spray it every year. Fluid film after a year or so kind of starts washing away in a way, kind of being this film itself. Actually, I have the sheet here, what they send you when you get the film on here, and this is a protective coating that you could basically, I think it stays on for a long time on there, indoors, outdoors. It stays on for years to actually, before you even have to redo this. And again, it's a military coating. From what I know, from what I've seen, it's been used like in army vehicles and things like that. So we're gonna be using it on the car, and it's supposed to be very, very good. Again, it's a wax coating. It's not just a rust protection that goes on there and kind of just gets slimy and stuff like fluid film does. This is actually just like a spray paint and goes in there. It's not rubberized, nothing like that. So like, because if the rubber coatings, what they do is, if you get a small chip in it or a tear in that rubber coating, you get water in there, and basically rubber, what it does, it expands and basically holds that water and the salt in there, causing it to rust. So again, we're starting on here from the back. Again, like I said, I already started the other day when I did the brakes on some of that frame there. We got the spare tire off. We're gonna be spraying everything underneath here. All of this we're gonna be spraying. We're gonna make sure protecting everything. Of course, we don't need to do the exhaust, but everything back here, again, you can see that I actually did the rear differential already. It's been sprayed partially on one side. I gotta get underneath and do the other side, and then we're gonna do the front. So this video is gonna be basically on coating your car and using the RP-42. Now, I will come back after this winter, and we'll get this car up in the air, and we'll see, well, up in the air in jacks, because I don't have a lift, but I will get this car up on jacks, and we'll see how good it protected it, and if there's any chips, if there's any rust starting anywhere, things like that. So we're gonna basically be looking into. So let's go ahead and get this frame started. We're gonna start from the rear and work our way forward. And on the front, we're gonna have to drop down the skid plate. Now, you do wanna kind of clean some stuff up here, so I didn't wash it. Normally, you do wanna wash it and spray it down and let it sit for at least a day outside drying, but I didn't do any of that. So we're gonna spray some stuff down here with some soap and water and kind of wipe it down, and then spray this all over it once we dry it up. So make the process a little bit quicker instead of waiting it to wash, because he's only here for today and then he's gotta go back to work for the next week. So we're trying to get this properly. We're probably trying to get it coated right now, so we get this out of the way. So let's go ahead and start undercoating this car and get this thing protected. Before you coat anything, just make sure you protect your arms. Something that I didn't do. Wear long sleeves, protect your floor, do it outside the best as possible. But you do want to clean the underneath before you do anything, especially whatever you're going to be spraying and trying to protect. So you want to always wash it. Now, again, we didn't have time to wash the car and let it sit out and dry and everything. So what we're doing here is we're spraying actually soap and water with some degreaser on there, and we're kind of wiping it down as we go here. And we're looking for the parts that have the most amount of dirt. And it's pretty much cleaning it up with a towel and kind of spraying it down. Now, what I started doing as well while he was cleaning that is I actually bought these little hoses on eBay. You can hook it up right to the actual can here. You take off the regular top of the can. the sprayer and you put this sprayer nozzle in there. And this has a 360 spray. So basically you put these inside of the frame, the little holes, the drain holes in the frame, and spray and pull it back as you're spraying. This will protect the inside as well. Now, it won't give you 100% protection because you can't see what you're spraying in there. But again, it gives you a lot better protection. So you get the outside and the inside of the frame sprayed as best as possible. Now I did this to the front and back, wherever I found these little holes, and kind of just sprayed as much as I could to protect this frame as much as I possibly could. All right, so we did the back. The whole back end is completed. So let me show you guys what it looks like now. And I did not do it before, so I kind of forgot to take a picture before, but you guys saw it before. Did I miss some areas? More likely probably did. I'm trying to get in there. Again, the car is jacked up and I'm trying to get as much as I can in there. On top of that, of course, I should have, always for anybody out there, and it just should have been common sense for me as well, make sure you always put something on the floor, a tarp or something on the floor, because right now, my floor, you guys could see the space right there. It is not a paint either. Again, it's just a wax coating, so it should like almost come right off with some, you know, cleaner or something like that, degreaser. It is, again, just a wax coating, so it is not gonna be painted. It's not like it's painting on there. It's gonna be permanent on there, so it should come off, but it's gonna be some effort. Either way, this floor is gonna have to get epoxied anyway, so whenever I have the people come out and do the upgrade for the garage floor, which will be a video on its own, they'll pretty much clean everything off and then we'll be able to go good. So I'm not too worried about it. So I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and clean off that wheel, make sure the tire has proper air, even if he gets a flat now, he can't put that tire on there because it's a different size. And then we'll get everything put back in the back of the car. We'll drop it down and then we'll lift it up on the front, and then we'll go do the entire front end of the car. We'll take the wheels off as well. And then we'll get the middle afterwards. So we'll go from the front kind of towards the back here as much as we can. The middle's got mostly just the major frame right here. Not a lot of stuff in the back other than the transfer case in the middle there, but in the front diff right there. But other than that, this whole back end is pretty much coated. I said I did get about 80%. I got in the holes in there as much as I could, sprayed it as much as I possibly could. So again, he is, and anybody that does this also will be told pretty much just still do an undercarriage wash on the vehicle in the winter. This doesn't mean it's fully protected. To get a proper protection on a car like this, you would have to lift this thing off its frame, have the bare frame sitting out, and then coat it to get an excellent protection out of this. So we're not doing that. We're doing this on jack stands in the garage, trying to get the best possible results out of this. So again, let me go ahead, finish up putting everything back here, let it dry out, and then we'll do the front end and the middle, and then we'll be done with this undercoating. All right, so basically now we're at the front. We got the back all buttoned up. The only thing we didn't put down there was a spare tire, which will be put on in a little bit. Tires are back on the back. And now we're going to the front. So let's take a look at this front, how it actually looks here. So here's the front frame. Now we are missing the shields that go here, so we gotta get those shields before winter. But that's the frame on the front there. Look at that. That is clean. And then I'll show you another of these shot, but let's go look at the passenger side as well. That's the passenger side right there. Even the heat shields, look at those things. Like from the factory, brand new. And this car has not been washed underneath, like I said. So now there is a little bit of surface rust starting on some of these parts right there. Right there. I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Normally we would want to spray some kind of rust remover, some rust penetrant, basically to get that off of there, but we're gonna go ahead and spray right over that. Again, this is to prevent from any more rust happening. Yeah, I understand rust eats away, it won't go away anywhere, but we're trying to minimize damage. Again, the whole thing is looking really good down here. Look at this. Look at that cross member right there. We just wiped it down real quick. We got the other cross member over there. Looks clean. There is the rest of the frame right there. They will be spraying a little bit. Once we're done with the front here, once we get to the back there, we'll just spray in the cross member and everything. But I mean, this thing is in perfect shape. And I'm gonna show you the skid plates that are over here. I cleaned them up, grinded down some of they had some rust bubbling here, so I kind of grinded those down already. I'll be spraying over those, but skid plates are all intact. And every bolt that I've been putting back on, I've been putting some anti-seize on there just to make sure that they don't seize up on there. Because again, now this car it was going from a Florida car to a Rust Belt car, and it's the first time ever it's gonna see snow and salt getting thrown at it, and we gotta try to protect it as much as we possibly can. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna get started on spraying this thing and coating everything as best as we can, and we'll be back to show you the final results. All right, so we are done finally. Took us pretty much most of the day to get it done. It was a two-part video, like I said. The first video you guys saw last week when I posted it, that was for the LED lights that we did on the entire car. And now, of course, the undercoating. But I'm gonna say underneath the car right now, it is about 80 to 85% protected. There might be some parts I did not get that I cannot get because of the body of the car, which is the top part of the frame. Because the body is sitting on it, I will have to lift the body off the frame to get to that, but I try my best to get everything. I'm gonna show you guys here, and actually at the end of the video, you guys can see some before and after of the front of the vehicle and everything, and see how everything looks. But I'm gonna show you how it looks right now underneath the car, on the side by the wheel well and everything. So here is the passenger side. It's all coated. And go to the driver's side over here. That's all coated as well now. Then we're gonna go underneath the car. Check that out, everything's coated, everything's... Now again, you guys see me spraying this stuff at the beginning of the video, very beginning. I didn't go out, you know, do a whole video monster of me spraying it because it's a pain to record on there. On top of that, my camera got that stuff everywhere. Now this stuff, if you're gonna be spraying this, I would have done it on my driveway out there, but it's kind of slanted and I don't want to keep, you know, just spray it. I should have actually sprayed it out there. Would have been easier because it's all black anyways. You wouldn't have been able to see it hardly. But I sprayed it in the garage. Yep, that was stupid of me. Normally, if you guys are doing this, go ahead and spray outside because pretty much it's all over my arms and I didn't want any long sleeves. And this stuff is a wax coating. It's not spray paint. The stuff is not painted. It's wax. It's hard to get off. You do have to use some petroleum based solutions to get this off. Like if you use gasoline, it'll come off with gasoline, things like that. But of course you don't want to use gasoline on the frame. But again, it's a pain to get off. Not caring too much about the floor because hopefully next year I will actually, like I said, epoxy this whole floor. They'll come and clean it up anyways. Let's look underneath the frame here, the middle section of the vehicle. So that's the frame right there. Look at this. Everything is coated. It's drying up right now. Front to back, got everything. Your cross members are all coated. Rear differentials coated as well. Go look at the passenger side. We're waiting for it to dry, but that's it. I did spray inside of it. Some of the drops right there. See the dripping right there? It's from the inside that's coming out because I sprayed inside using that little hose, like I said. I will put everything I bought, including the protectant, the RP-342, on the link below so you guys can get this. Again, my suggestion is spraying everything outside. This goes everywhere. My phone's all messed up with this stuff. I gotta clean that off. Pretty much everything is kind of just completely just coated on it. I'm coated on it. So I got rust protection for the next few years. But here is also the skid plates. Yep, I did it on the grass, no big deal. When I cut the grass, this thing will start going away. I've painted on this grass before, but that's the skid plates right there. That's gonna be going in a little bit once it dries up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So this car is ready to go. Now next year when we come back, I will make a follow-up video on this stuff, see how it's doing, see how it's being protected, and if we have to do any touch-ups, we will the next year. But for now, I think I got everything pretty much mostly covered. Now next year when we do, he wants to do the front grille and upgrade the grille and the lights. So we'll be removing the front bumper. I will hit that bumper that's in the front here. Any metal that I missed now, I'll hit that up next year. But I think it's a pretty good coverage right now, at least for the first time that we're spraying this. And if I had a lift, I would be able to get better coverage underneath and be able to see. Of course, if you're standing up and looking at it, it's better than laying down on your stomach or on your back trying to get this done. But if you guys are thinking of undercoating a car, especially something that looks as beautiful as this car does and as nicely kept as this car is, definitely, I would 100% suggest getting some kind of undercoating. This stuff is supposed to be really, really good. It's supposed to last for years on there. Again, it's a wax coating, so it's not paint, it's not rubber, and it's not like that fluid film stuff, which is basically like an oil-based coating. This is this is pretty good actually, and it dries to a non-tacky formula. The actual fluid film, when you touch it, it's still all tacky and slimy. This stuff, when it dries, it actually dries to like a non-tacky formula, and it looks really good on top of it, especially if you get the black stuff. It looks all nice and black underneath. And I'm gonna show you guys at the end of the video, like I said, I'll show you guys a before and after of the front of the car and everything. Show you guys how everything looks at this point. All right, so that is the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Everything I use will be in the link in the description below. If you guys want to get this stuff for your vehicle and get your vehicle protected, go ahead and check out the links below. That also helps out the channel. But again, if you guys liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Peace.